football, culture, movement.
Alright, boom. Welcome back to another episode of FCM. You already know what time it is. The best in the business. You already know how we do. To my left, production is in the hot seat today. As you know, the signature hand rub. You know he's got smooth skin because when he does it, you don't hear it on the microphone. It's very subtle. It's very subtle.
Hey, I dare you to let Maze do that.
What was that? Don't do that.
Was that sandpaper every time?
Hey, yeah, you gotta start moisturizing your hands, my boy.
This is real men hands.
Manual hands right there.
You know DIY. Him, I believe it. You?
Real men hands. To my right, the podcasting Pepe, of course, the one and only Fuad Kadani, myself, host of the most. My record. You already know what time it is. Culture Cams could not be with us because he's out in Manny doing hospitality, doing up work shift, doing up. I met Yepston.
Wait. Has he become the very prawn sandwich brigade
that he used to accuse me of?
Hey, real men, yeah. We're watching.
Big
him up, man.
Big him up, man. Big up the man them as well. Obviously, hat trick ball on Sky Sports and that. Clap it up.
I love to see it, bro. I love to see it.
Big up the Saturday social team, man.
It's all good things. We all know what to do, man. Like, share, subscribe. Algorithm. Smash the like button. We're gonna have a good show today. Of course, not much football, but there's still a lot to get into.
Facts.
But as is custom around here, listen, I know many teams are not playing at the moment. Some international teams are playing. You might have a team in the Asia Cup. You might have a team in AFCON. You might have a team in the Championship, wherever it is. If your team went out there and got the dub, hold tight the 3-point collectors.
I was so close. I was so close today. Mozambique were this close, honestly.
Nasty individual you are.
Oh man, I could have been a 3-point collector.
Hold tight the 3-point collectors. Hold tight the participants as well. Of course, you already know. Listen, it's a game of two teams, man. You got to take part. Hold tight the teams that are losing everywhere. Hold tight the teams that disgrace themselves. But let's talk about a big game that, if you were here, I would go with the watch along for FCM takeover. United Spurs 2-2 in-house derby. Speak to me, boys.
Oh, home team, you want to lead away or shall I get the ball rolling?
One thing I want to start with, because I know obviously there's a few things. I want to try and start with positives this week, right? And when I look at it, there's a little snapshot of 3 players standing next to each other in the Man United lineup, and I believe it was Garnacho, Højlund, and Meno. And those are all teens. I think that's 18, 19, and Garnacho might be 19 as well. One 18-year-old. All who, of recent times, have been really trying to carry the mantle of this great club and are trying to do stuff. Today, in recent weeks, you've had Garnacho stepping up to the plate. You've had Werner, who's been really instrumental. Today, Højlund got a goal and assist. What I want to start with before we go into the game and before we go into the negatives potentially is, when you look at that as one part of it, is that a sign of encouragement potentially?
I mean, I guess if you're really looking for encouragement, bro. But it takes me back to a few years ago where United's youngsters were Martial, Rashford, and Lingard, and we gave them the mantle to carry this club, and they were going to be the. So I like the kids, man, and they're good players, and I believe that with the right development around them and the right team and the right coach, yeah, they can go on to be part of a good Man United team. But it's just tiring, to be honest with you, man. When you spend this much money on a squad and you buy this much into a manager, why are we still relying in 2024, big 2024, on kids, man? It's unfair on them, to be honest with you, that every single week it has to be Garnacho bailing us out. It has to be Højlund bailing us out. Manu has to carry an entire midfield with 2 senior players next to him. He has to carry it on his shoulders. So I know you're going to try and find positives from it, so I get your question. But look, man, I'm happy for them, but it's just not good enough, man. It's not good enough.
Right, Spurs side, any positives you can take from it? Players coming back?
Loads of positives, to be fair. I think coming into it, I said we're probably going to leave with a point or the 3, and that wasn't just kind of like on a whim. That was based off kind of what I've seen over the past month and a half or so. We've seen a lot of injuries, we've seen suspensions, but one thing I've been able to see is Ange being able to coach his team to still be able to play the way that he wants to play. I've been calling it principles of play, POP. Yeah?
Hold it down.
Hold it down. And that's what Ange's been doing. He's been holding it down. You've seen Emerson Royale, Ben Davies coming in. Today we saw a midfield of Højbjerg, Skip, and Bentancur, 3 defensive midfielders. And I remember I said to you on the stream last season when we saw the double pivot of Højbjerg and Skip, we used to call it just ham because it was just no seasoning, nothing. But some way, somehow, today we managed to actually look like a comfortable side. And listen, you got to give Ange a lot of credit for that. I know Leas will say, obviously, few teams have been able to come to Old Trafford over the past year or so, but I always think when we've gone there, it's always been like, the lads, it's Tottenham. They've been able to turn up for those type of games. Today, every man can pat themselves on the back. Richarlison, his hold-up, link-up play at the top. I thought the other two next to him, a little bit frustrating at times, Johnson and Werner. Werner obviously making his debut as well. We can probably deep dive on him a little bit later, but I just thought the final ball was lacking with Johnson. He would get in the right areas, get in the right channels, but then that cross just doesn't come in at the right time or doesn't meet the man. Werner gave you the typical Werner almost performance. I'm going to get the ball, I'm going to be in dangerous positions, I'm going to be a threat in behind, but when that finish comes, I might not deliver it. And we saw a few shots where it was like, we still got the receipt for that, you know what I'm saying? But his debut, I think he's only played 61 minutes this season. You kind of look over it and you say, you know what, he got an assist. Leaves with a GA, as they would say. So it was almost like the typical Werner performance, but I was really impressed with that. The midfield, the defence as well. Even though we kind of conceded the 2 goals in the first half, they kind of came from like flash moments, I felt like. We controlled a lot of the first half, but good counter.
The second half, you controlled it almost entirely, man.
The entirety of it,
especially after getting the goal.
But it just felt like with those 2 moments, they just caught us out and we were kind of punished by it. But I thought Porro, Udogie, the 3 in midfield, and then Van der Ven obviously coming back from however long he's been missing now, since game week 9 or 10, I think it is. But to come in, slotting, and I know he went off injured at the end, but they've just come out and said it's only a cramp. Don't panic, guys. Don't worry. But very happy to see him back in the lineup. We saw Radu come in for his debut as well at the end. We've been busy early in the window, so bro, a lot's been happening. And listen, before the game, if you said to me 2-2, I would have probably took it. But seeing kind of how the game went, you kind of think a little bit. Could we have left with all 3? You know what I'm saying? And I think we could have.
I won't lie. Is it Paratici?
Aye.
Because we were speaking about young players here.
Aye.
Nah, he's doing business with an ankle monitor.
Listen. Throw some P's in the chat right now if you're a Spurs fan, bro, because that brother, Don P, we call him, yeah?
Who's we?
He's we, as a collective, the Spurs fans, not you. You stay over there,
You're
yeah?
the one calling him Don P. He thinks that nickname's stick and play, hey.
We. But nah, give him credit, because I think a lot of people I was on a stream midweek as well, and people were saying like, Ange, the way he's been able to coach a lot of these players, full credit. He's been doing a wicked job. A lot of these players improving. But the signing of these players, Bentancur, Kulusevski, Romero, Porro, Udogie, Vicario, there's so many of them. And even now, Radu Dragusin just come in this January. It's off the back of his kind of recommendations. And even though he's got his legal troubles or whatever, he's still found a way, somehow to, bless us with a few gems. So it's like, listen, that is almost like the perfect thing, I think, of what a United fan would look at and be like, this is what we want. A sporting director who has good contacts, good targets, and is able to execute in those signings as well. But then a coach who can work with those signings and is able to, okay, I might not get a Raya, I'll get a Vicario and I'll turn him into a keeper of the season. All right, Porro, Bissouma, you lot weren't able to work with them. I can make them better players, and that's what you want from a coach. No excuses, no nothing. I'm going to get on with the job and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
It's crazy though, because when we were doing the watch along earlier, Leas, you were saying stuff like, if I close my eyes, I would think the team in white are the home team. And you think about everything we're talking about now in terms of director, football manager. Spurs have almost stumbled into this position where they have everything that a big club like a Man United would dream of, where you've got a manager that has real footballing principles. Whether it's 4 fullbacks or your first starting 11 defence, the style of football is going to be there. Come rain, come shine, we're going to do that. We have players that can adapt and be within this. Whereas on the United side, you look at that team and you look at the way they play. If you just watch them in silence for 5 minutes, you think to yourself, what coaching has gone on? What has happened in training this week? Who is the player that's actually organising stuff here? You look at set pieces, conceding goals, it's like, who's in charge around here? And it's one thing to look at the players and be like, okay, maybe the player's not good enough. But it's another thing to look at and be like, what? But even the basics are not being done here. And I guess that's, for me, from an outsider looking at it, it's always like, damn, like United are like, where is that potential upside if this is the base level of what you're at?
It's crazy, right? Because I was actually thinking about it. Around this time last year, this exact same fixture was played. United at home to Spurs. And I came away from it thinking that's the best I've seen United play under Erik Ten Hag. We absolutely smoked Spurs. We were all over them. We were positive in possession. Our press was on point. We created chances. We defended well. And I came away from that game thinking, yo, I see progress. This is like something that I believe we can build on. And like, yo, this is the building blocks of potentially a great team. Everyone knows how high I was on Erik Ten Hag. But you looked at the flip side of Spurs, and it was also a reason I was so critical of Antonio Conte. And you look at the midfielders on display that year, last year, same fixture, for Tottenham Hotspur, who got bossed off the pitch. It was Bentancur, it was Højbjerg, and it was Bissouma. You flash forward to today. The same midfield that controlled this game, honestly, with their eyes closed. Spurs, in my opinion, bar on transition, which is, we know United's threat, looked in control of that game almost the entirety of it, in my opinion. The midfield three was Bentancur, Oliver Skip, and Højbjerg. If that doesn't tell you guys how important a manager and his footballing identity is, then there's no hope for you. Honestly, find a different sport to watch. It's as simple as that. Erik Ten Hag has no more excuses anymore. You can talk about injuries all you want. You can talk about the board all you want. You can talk about the stadium leaking all you want. But we just played a Spurs team who were missing their entire front line. They were missing basically their entire midfield that they started the season with. And they had their back two that just came back together. This was the first time they played together in months. And still, they looked like it. And the most important part, they were playing under a manager that's been there for 6 months. He's had 6 months with this team. And they look like they've been a team that's gelled together for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you're a United fan and you're watching this and you're looking at Erik Ten Hag and you're looking for excuses and you're looking for reasoning and hope to kind of keep backing this guy, every game the excuses run thinner and thinner and thinner. And I said at the start of the season, Ange is the nemesis, in my opinion, of Erik Ten Hag. Because any excuse that you can kind of throw at Ten Hag, Ange is kind of just disproving that. He has a board that everyone has called shit for the last 3 years at Spurs. He's working with it. He has a team that's never won anything. He's working with it. He has a team that everyone thought the team was garbage last year. He's working with it.
He has injuries.
And in 6 months, I know what an Ange Postecoglou team looks like. I'll say it again. After a year and a half, what does an Erik Ten Hag team look like?
Yeah. Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Nobody knows. And I think we've seen kind of like sparing games where you've been able to kind of see the imprint and I think a lot of fans kind of cling on to that. The Palace game I'm thinking about. Even that Spurs game last year where they're thinking that's what we're meant to look like, the final product. But how often are you seeing that within games? And it always seems like there's one excuse after another, whether it's injuries, whether it's suspensions, whether it's, the guys aren't in form or whatever. The coach, I feel like, always has to imprint his ideas. And that's one thing I think you have to give Ange massive credit to.
100%.
The way he's been able to come in and, as you said, a board that's been notoriously difficult to work with every manager. He's gone, all right, cool. Even if you're not going to give me my primary signings, just give me 1 or 2 or whatever. Then it's like the players. People are saying these guys are not good. Basuma's a dud. Van der Ven, who is he? Destiny coming from where? Porro, he's a wing back, not a full back. So the fact that he's been able to do that with all these players within the space of 6 months, as you said, it draws big lights on Ten Hag. And I'm someone who I've always been kind of like lenient towards Ten Hag, but this season it's almost become hard to defend because you're like, these are also some of these signings that aren't working out. They're your signings. This style of play, it's your style of play. And it's like, you keep saying, it's the players and I need my guys back. Hey. No, you still have to impose your principles. It's like we were saying, these Spurs players, some of them were the same ones that were there last year, wouldn't dare try some of those passes that they were playing today. But it's because the manager gives you that license to say, that pass, you must play it. And if you don't play it, I will drop you. That's sticking to your principles. No matter who is in that position, requesting the same of them. The minute you start picking and choosing who you're gonna, your team doesn't even understand you now. Your team loses the identity, and it's like, what are we playing to? Is it dependent on each personnel? You're never gonna have a consistent 11 for the entire season. Arsenal was shown that last year when they thought they had that set 11. We're gonna win the title with this. You see, come crunch time, what happens? And it's the same with Ten Hag. You're going to have to use this entirety of the squad. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have suspensions. Stick to your principles. And I think that's the biggest thing throughout this entire tenure where I have to look at him and say, that's the biggest disappointment.
100%.
I don't know what your principles were. And the principles that everybody attached you with, now we're kind of looking at it and thinking, was that actually all Ajax? because Ajax are known for that tiki-taka football. Ajax are known for the great academy development. You had Overmars and Van der Sar doing all the signings for you. So really and truly, okay, you were the glue guy that kind of did bring it all together. But there's a lot of factors that made you that great coach that you are. And I think that's now shone even more. And you're kind of looking at games like these where, come on, man, we need more.
I tweeted it out, right? This is my last real take on this, because I feel like I'm repeating myself almost every single week of United. But today is the ultimate proof. If you didn't believe it before, if you didn't see it before, injuries and absentees affect individual quality. For example, we're going to talk about him later on, but what De Bruyne did yesterday, that's only De Bruyne can do that, basically. But De Bruyne not being there doesn't impact how Manchester City play football. Injuries impact quality. Injuries do not impact identity. It's as simple as that. It doesn't, like, I've seen coaches near the bottom of the league with players that wouldn't get into United's academy, that have a better structure, a more clear identity, a way they want to play that's much more translucent, it's much more conducive than what United are doing. It's not about individuals, man. The identity is rotten.
No, 100%. And I think what's more frustrating is if you have an identity and a way of playing and it's not working, that's still more palatable than not having anything. Because what happens is, if the Scott McTominay header goes in, there'll be fans that'll be like, yeah, we beat Spurs, they gave us everything and we beat them. And it's like, you beat them off of what? Like, what is it? What have
moments.
What have you gained from this little moment? What have you gained realistically? Because really and truly, you haven't shown anything. You go away with a W, but next week it's going to go back to the rubbish. It's the same thing when you guys beat us. And it was like, yeah, we've beat Chelsea with all the money they spent. Yeah, Chelsea were poor that day. United did what needs to do, but okay, then what happens the next week?
Yeah,
you have to have a base, a foundation to build from, and that's like the fundamentals of any manager. Any manager that can't build that, you're in big trouble, because the players start looking around like, what am I supposed to do, or how am I supposed to be at a level, or how am I supposed to follow instructions if I don't know them? So yeah, with United, like, your season's done, but ultimately, Ten Hag has to still do something.
The question I ask for United fans now, what do you do now? Do you, in terms of, like, I know Liaz would have Ten Hag sacked today probably.
Not really. I think Cam would have Ten Hag sacked today. Okay. Cam thinks that, like...
Because I feel like there's a section of United fans that would want him sacked, but they don't know who they want to come in next. Or do you kind of just allow the season to go into freefall? Because it does seem like pretty much every United fan has kind of given up hope on any form of success this season, because what does success even look like?
Well, no, I think this season there's no chance that it can be a success, because they're not going to win the FA Cup, and I find it very far-fetched to think they're going to come top four. I just don't think they're good enough for that. Cam believes that Ten Hag should be fired today, because he thinks even past the way we're playing, he's looking at the relationships that he's having with players, and he thinks that that's getting rotten.
Yeah.
And I hear him out, to be honest with you. I mean, like, you look at the Sancho situation, right? The amount of United players that were coming out basically in support for him. And I know, okay, that's their friend, that's their teammate, but hey, if you respect the manager and you believe in what's going on and United are winning games, Rashford and Luke Shaw are not commenting on Jadon Sancho's post. Fact. And you look at how it's gone down with Casemiro and Varane, I think that's what Cam is looking at. Me personally, I don't really believe in giving a new manager, put him in the middle of the season and just hope that he can fix everything. I don't think it's fair on the manager. And I don't think it's realistic most of the time that that's just going to translate into success. I feel like a new manager, and especially a project, which is what United wants, they deserve to come in the summer so they can have a window and that they can properly identify the team and the situation with an open mind. No games kind of being involved. But at the same time, who do you get then? You get an interim manager at this moment. So it's not as easy as just firing Ten Hag now, because also who is there available? Who do you replace him with? I think that there's a better manager out there, but I don't really identify him at the moment. So if United are going to continue the rest of the season or not, I think it's a failure of a season no matter whether you keep Ten Hag or whether you don't keep him.
Yeah. So they probably have to start touting for the next manager, which a lot of big institutions
which takes a long time.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But they kind of think ahead in terms of
prospective takeover as well. It might actually be the right time to do it. Start doing it from now till the end of the season. It's almost like trial period.
So Jim might even be looking and thinking, okay, you know what? If these guys can just balance out, I'll just get a manager to watch this for 6 months, get his ideas ready, and then come summer, place him in, put a bit of Ineos money. Was it marginal gains? Get the marginal gains.
One thing's for sure, right? Radcliffe was in the stadium today. There's no way he's looking at that and thinking like Ten Hag right now is under. Ten Hag is basically like in an audition period right now. Even though he has the job, he's auditioning to stay in the job for the foreseeable future. And I think he's failing at the moment, man. There's no way. If I'm a new owner coming into a new business, I look at the current tenant of that business, and they're performing that way. There's no way he's staying.
Nah.
One positive though, Rasmus Højlund. Goal today and an assist. What did you make of his kind of performance? And is this now like almost like a turning point? Because we've seen the goals in the championship, Champions League.
Yeah.
But now he's starting to get a couple in the league, and today's finish as well, I thought was nice. I can't even lie to you.
I don't think it is a turning point. Not because I don't rate Rasmus Højlund, but because I don't really buy into this idea that it's all his fault or whatever. Like I look at United, and they don't create chances for their center forward. What center forward realistically, unless you're Haaland or Kane, who are just like Haaland creates chances out of nothing, and Kane is just Kane. What center forward is realistically coming to this United team that are barren of chance creation and starting banging in goals? We saw the Forest game. People saw, could this be like a turnaround for him? The next game, he was just it's the same thing. So one thing I liked about him this game is that I didn't see as much like wrestling with his center back. I saw more movement. I saw more intricate, like creative ways of getting yourself involved because there are ways of drifting out wide. There are ways of dropping deep. Get yourself involved without having to make it a wrestling game. Yeah. But in terms of the goals, man, I think a striker, more time, there are obviously exceptions, but more time, you're just as good a goal scorer as the chances that create for you.
And you quickly, I want to ask, that boy on the left for me today, number 16, Timo Werner.
Oh, Turbo Timo.
Should I expect much for the end of the season? Sorry, I just spilled some water there. Should I expect much for the end of the season? Because today I felt like I got pretty much almost like a summary of what to expect from him. It's almost like I'm going to get action, I'm going to get some excitement, but it might not always end pretty. And I would have thought, going back to the Bundesliga, having a chance to reset, come back, maybe would have composed himself a little bit, matured a little bit, because I think you even said on stream, is he nearly 30 now?
Yeah, he's old. He's getting up there. Yeah.
Is this all I'm going to get till the end of the season? Does it get any better? Give me some hope is what I'm saying. Brother, please.
The way Fuad was reacting today was killing me because, bro, have you not seen this guy the entirety of his career?
Bro, I'm not surprised by it, but when you expect a little bit of evolution,
I don't know why.
I mean, look,
he's been worse since he went back to Leipzig.
I've seen him go back to Dortmund. I'm like, he's looking like himself again.
Yeah, okay, that's exactly. We saw him in the Prem. He came back to the Prem. We saw what you're like, bro.
Yeah, I saw what he's like. That's what Timo
Werner never changes sauce, does it?
Man, it doesn't. It doesn't. And like the irony of it is like I was speaking.
Because I don't think he was bad even. I'm not sitting there saying like,
he's 27.
He's 27. Okay,
he's supposed to be peak of his career.
Yeah, peak of his career right now. But I didn't think he was bad or anything like that. But I thought you could have got more.
But that's Werner for you, bro. That's Werner.
And this is the...
Werner's always going to be that. It's going to be like... It's almost like, how... But the thing is, this is the issue with football nowadays. People have made it normal to sort of be okay with quote-unquote chaos. There's not volatility there, but, he made something happen. He was in amongst it. And it's like, yeah, but... I'm not watching you to be in amongst it,
bro.
I'm watching you to deliver.
I have Richarlison for that already. I have Brennan Johnson for that already. And now you want to give me Werner on top of that already?
But Ange on the team must have thought there would be use of him. Obviously, you've got injuries. You've got massive injuries.
100%.
He came in straight away. He played on that left flank. He did get the assist. There was something there. But this is basically what it's going to be. What you guys have to bank on now is that Richarlison and this sort of new aura he has about him can continue to be clinical when it's called upon, because you're not going to have Son and you can't bank on Werner being clinical, and Brennan Johnson has kind of got a bad for this year because it's a big move. So that's where you are basically.
Big up Richarlison as well, man.
I was going to say we're not leaving this segment of our Richarlison.
Big up Richarlison as well, man. I think he deserves his flowers, man.
I think he deserves his flowers too.
I put him through a tough time in the 18 months he's been here, and it might have been deservedly so, but. As when things do turn around, you have to acknowledge it as well. And I think not just the goals as well, but it's the performance today as well. I felt like that was, you could argue, maybe his best performance in a Spurs shirt, to be fair.
Do you know what I want to say about Richarlison? Especially like if you think about the time of Ange, right? We always say that when we talk about players or managers from all of our clubs, we always say, who has that coach improved? Who has that coach developed to be better?
I say Pedro Porro.
And that's what I'm saying.
Romero.
You can name
loads. You can name Bissouma. You can name...
He revived Son, bro.
He
revived Son.
Son. Richarlison scoring goals.
Exactly. So with Richarlison, it's one of those things where, you know what, maybe there is more because he's being coached to be better. Because the coach understands that in order for you to perform well, I need to teach you to be better.
Do you know what, though? I think... In my opinion, I want to give him more credit because he's had the coach for the first 4 months, 5 months, and it still wasn't clicking for him. And then he was even saying like, there was a week or two where he was like, I'm going for a lot of mental things. I need a bit of a break or whatever. Had his knee surgery, he's come back from that and he just looks like mentally fresh, physically fresher. And he's just got a bit of confidence about him now. I've always maintained Confidence is the biggest PED in football, bro. You look at a player with confidence and without confidence, you're looking at two different humans.
Facts. Yeah.
Spooky.
Prime example of Rash.
Yeah.
Let's go into those super chats quickly.
Yeah, we got a few. Liam says Timo Werner already has more assists than Anthony. You guys got to stop bringing this to the table, though. Right?
Hey, but
He ain't wrong.
But it's wrong. We didn't have to say it. Like, Anthony has 0 assists. 0. One less than 1. 0. There are 0 assists. Alisson is a goalkeeper, and he has more assists in the Premier League than Anthony. So, yes, guys, anytime somebody passes the ball for someone else to score, they have now more assists than Anthony. Can we get that out of the room
keep it
now?
up, guys.
Like, that's some great accomplishment, bro. And then Jay Jackson says Man City come back against Newcastle and their elite talisman, championship pedigree. Liverpool do it and they're seen as sloppy and a disaster. Flirting
Perfect
versus harassment.
segue into the next topic.
Let's talk about the champions.
Oh.
Or the whole
Okay.
Oh.
yeah, they are.
I thought you was crowning them already. I'm like,
Oh.
listen, you chill out with your elects and your
Champions
crowning.
elect.
Yeah. If anybody's elected, let it be me.
Champions elect.
Hey, listen, you stay out here, bro.
No, man. Kevin De Bruyne, man. Kevin De Bruyne, man. What a man. You know, drink chats, I just start clapping.
That's not even champ of the week. I don't know what to call
Listen,
that.
man.
brother.
Turkish, you came on our
Like-
platform and you said he was finished.
Hold on, Turkish came on this platform and said De
He
Bruyne is
said he's
finished.
not going to come back the same.
I must have been reading super chats at that point. What?
He said he's not coming back the same. Turkish said he's not coming back the same.
Wow.
Turkish, you woke up the boogie, man. You said Candyman 3 times, bro. Oh my gosh. Where to start? For neutral, that game, good game, amazing goals, well contested.
Yeah, it was a good game.
But
The
I think
banana
that's-
goal to start that off as well, I can't lie.
back heel, yeah.
Weaker foot, right, mustard. And
But
it
it's-
almost got a second right after that as well.
Yeah. But it's just that with that game, I think my biggest takeaway from that game is City have now won 6 on the bounce. Right, and that was a game where people thought they were going to lose because they went back. Managed to crawl the game back, win 6 in the bounce. This is what I constantly talk about, where a team inflicts fear into people and they just keep motoring on. I can't put my hand on my chest and say that there's many teams that can just go on winning streaks in the Premier League that can match Man City's pace. That is over the Christmas period now. 6 wins, we've had, our travels and whatnot. We're still moving, we're still going. We still have our striker that broke the record last year to come back. Our talisman has just come back and shown you what sort of time he's on. They are just in a different space. And we're not even talking about the fact that we talk about key men being sold from them. They're just spawning young talents. Pep did an interview after the game. He said that, Checky spoke to me and said that, Oscar should join us this year. And he's been amazing ever since. Man's just coming onto the pitch, winning the game. And don't get me wrong, the pass is amazing. But how many players do that skill in that moment and still score?
Bro, what you're looking at here is champions. You're looking at earned
Bona
winners.
fide.
Like when we throw around titles like world class, legends, that's what you're looking at with this team, bro. This is a team that has set records, broken records, set new standards for this league. Like, we're talking about a potential 4-peat now. Undone, bro. Like, and the icing of that entire cake, I'm sorry, but Kevin De Bruyne showing exactly what it means to be at the pinnacle of this game, bro. 4 minutes, you come onto the pitch, decisive, straight away. And when you see, I think people are even sleeping on the goal. For me, that was like a 200 IQ goal, bro. But drive up the pitch, use the defender to shield the ball, and I'm going to slot it through your legs and into the side netting. Perfection is what you call that, bro.
You're not missing out.
Then the vision for the second, bro. Oscar Bob, fantastic. The touch, the go around the keeper. But this is what greatness looks like, bro. And this is why, like, the past day or so, I've been saying, Kevin De Bruyne, greatest mid. 2021-22. I was telling you, look, by the time Kevin De Bruyne is done with this Premier League, it will be unquestionable that he is the greatest midfielder to ever lace boots in this league, bro. What is this man missing? Consistency, clutch moments, great goals, more assists than Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, and all these legends you want to throw ahead of him. Bro, this guy has carried this team at times. And when you talk about catalysts, what bigger catalyst than Kevin De Bruyne? Like, even him warming up had them shaking in their boots, brother. This is what you call greatness. Not the little flicky hair Donny across North London that they talk about, yeah? This is what a controller looks like. This is what real legends are made of, bro.
Listen.
I'm sorry. Give him his flowers.
Look,
it's undisputed at this point.
De Bruyne, man, I mean, I've been saying it all season. I've said it for a long time. He's the best player in this league. No matter what any records anyone wants to break or goals anyone, De Bruyne is the best that this league has to offer. And how often can we remember, even in the Premier League, a player is not just the best in his position in the league, but in the world? And so almost like unanimously, we've all been saying for years now, best midfielder in the world, it's Kevin De Bruyne. It's unquestionable. And it almost adds, right? Like when we talk about best midfielders in Premier League history, I always say it comes down to preference, because when you're at that level of greatness, it really comes down to what do you like. You'll say De Bruyne, the assist and stuff like that, not to take anything away from him, but let's be honest here as well. He's really the only attacking midfielder, maybe Lampard as well, out of those guys that you're listing. So you compare a Vieira to a De Bruyne, how do you really do it? So that's why for me it's all about preference. I hear everything you're saying, and I don't think it's wrong to believe De Bruyne. He's now put himself on that pedestal. But I also think that when it comes to greatness, it's not just the numbers, it's not just the stats, not just the awards, but it's also the narrative, the storyline, the aura, the legend. And this adds to it, right?
Yeah.
All season, City were having questions about them. Are they a better team without Rodri, with Rodri? Is this the beginning of the end? Can they win 4 in a row? Is Foden now the new centerpiece of Manchester City? And when they need him most, he comes in and within 4 minutes reminds everyone who the hell he is. The best player in this league.
Facts.
And then in the dying moments, and let's be real, the last 5-6 years, City have kind of taken the emblem of Man United as kings of last-minute goals.
Yeah.
That's their thing now. And at the heart of it is almost always
KDB.
him. And that pass, bro, how often can we say a player really has like almost like a signature pass? That's really Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted any player to make that pass in that moment, on that area of the pitch, it's him.
Yes, you know what, it pisses me off because that's not even his signature pass. The signature pass is the one he does for Holland.
From more of the right. I'm talking about like just like kind of wrapping your foot around the ball and putting it on a sixpence for your attacker. Man, the guy is world class. And you talk about too, the thing I love about De Bruyne the most is there's no real like complicated things to his game. He's not really the most flashy. He's not really the most overcomplicated. He doesn't throw a strop when things don't go his way. He doesn't yell at his teammates. He doesn't point at the refs or argue. He just gets the job done, man. He's just effectiveness, efficiency
personified.
Do you know what I ask? All I ask is that what weak area does he have of his game, bro? Right foot, left foot, short range, long range, mental. Even like, I'll be real with you, I think his pace has been undersold for a lot of years.
No. De Bruyne's a great athlete.
I've constantly said he has that John Cena PMP.
When you talk about versatility, let's not forget when he was younger, he used to play right, left, all over the midfield. Like this guy has seen it all and done it all, in my opinion, at this point. And it's like, and I want to read actually Cam, who's not here, put out an incredible tweet last night that I think hit the nail on the head in terms of this whole City and KDB. He said, systems will allow you to compete, but superstars win you the biggest trophies. And I felt like that yesterday was almost like the perfect sign of it. It's like, it's so true. You look at a team, if they can, Spurs, Arsenal, you can have the right system and get near City, get near Liverpool. But it's really those different maker players, the Salahs, the Kevin De Bruynes, the Trents, the Virgils, the Rodris. Because we haven't even spoken about his performance of that little jink.
Rodri was a dominant game.
Like
honestly.
that caliber of player is what allows you to get over that line, bro. It's all cute having a nice team and saying, we're good, we're gonna be stars, but you need dogs.
When it's all said and done, when it's like go man for man, you know when I say let's go man for man, there's certain men that are just gone clear. And last year we all spoke about Haaland's greatness. He broke the records, and we all used to say stuff like teams have lost the game before it started because defenders are worried about Haaland. Half of that reason was because KDB was playing the sublime passes to them.
Did you see Haaland's reaction on Instagram?
Yes.
He's the happiest man on the planet, bro. So I guess I got my swagger back.
So that's one part of it. Another part of it is, imagine the Premier League, because we talk about stories and narratives, but football's a very simple thing, right? Players watch everything, right? Imagine watching this game where Newcastle are giving it everything, and KDB comes on in 4 minutes and doing that. Every single manager that has played City coming up went, for fuck's sake, is this what we have to deal with?
Yeah.
That is different level. Before ball's even kicked, you know that it's danger. There's not many players that you can say, you know what, we are scared. Like, help us.
Fear.
Please.
Real fear factor.
That fear factor. You know, we spoke about X factor? No, this is fear factor. It's different.
a new one.
This is different, bro. When you see people like Rodri coming back from injury, you're thinking, how are we gonna break down the defense? KDB, my God, he can just dime from anywhere.
Yeah.
It's different, man, and that's why you have to pay respect.
Rodri again, 50 games now.
50 games on
one in a row.
Best DM in the world, man.
50 games on beaten.
Yeah.
They have the best DM, the best midfielder,
The best striker.
the best striker.
Yeah. And an unbelievable defense.
Yeah.
The best manager. That's crazy.
It's undeniable.
And it's, what's so mad about it, I spoke to you guys about before. You mentioned the first goal. Who got subbed up for Kevin De Bruyne, please?
Bernardo Silva.
Was he having a bad game?
No.
Bro, what the hell are we talking about here? This is the caliber of team we're talking about. Where it's like, you know what, you're doing all right, but I need some of that KDB swagger, please.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. It's different class.
One thing
man.
I'll say, just to finish it off, it's not even really just about De Bruyne, but just in terms of, for me, what I call the art of football, right? When you kind of like go back to when we were kids, right? The reason we love the sport so much is because we love going and turning on the TV and seeing guys do stuff that we could never even imagine ourselves doing. And I feel like the game over the last 5, 6, 7 years has kind of gone away from that, where we talk about systems and we talk about structure and the managers are now the protagonists. But I maintain it, and no one will ever be able to change my opinion on this. There's nothing better than watching a football game and seeing the best player on the team or the best player on the pitch just do shit that only they can do, bro.
Yeah.
Like that De Bruyne moment, that's what for me makes football so entertaining. World-class players doing world-class things.
But you see that in Pep, the way he embraced him after the game.
Yeah.
You see it in the post-game presser, where he's talking about that's where players like that make the difference. Even he appreciates it. I can have all of these tactics and system, but it's certain individuals
Game
that
breakers.
really make game
Yeah.
breakers.
Yeah, they break the tactics, bro.
Messies,
Yeah.
those kind of freaks that you're just like, you know what? There's nothing I can
There's
do
no
to
game
push you
plan.
further.
Good
Yeah.
defense, better offense.
Facts, bro.
Better offense.
Just on the other side, though, I was going to say, I want to speak on Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle.
I feel like we can really let them get away with this,
Newcastle's form. I don't get nervous.
Bro,
I'm starting to get a little.
What is it?
They're
2
in
wins
trouble.
in the last 10, which was against a Fulham side that I think lost 4 out of the last 5 before
They've
that.
lost the last 4 games, I think.
And then a Sunderland side, which was in the cup.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, some of the other games as well, I think they've lost. 1 second. Everton,
Yeah.
AC Milan, obviously in the Champions League. Chelsea, you guys, which, let's be honest, at that time, things weren't going well.
Yeah.
Luton, Nottingham Forest, of course. And then most recently, City and Liverpool, which you could say, obviously, they're bigger teams.
The
but
result that they took.
it's the performances
Yeah.
within this as well. And yeah, they got the 2 goals yesterday. I want to speak on Kyle Walker a bit after this as well.
Yeah.
Because I saw some crazy chat yesterday.
I think
But
with Newcastle, one of the
Yeah.
things with Newcastle is, again, ultimately, when you go up to this pedestal,
yeah,
the expectation is different. The fans are saying stuff like, "Oh my gosh, we shouldn't be anywhere near this position." Very similar to Arsenal, way they did leapfrog a year of development, and now you're in a place where people expect you to be higher up. Obviously, Champions League's not something they have to contest with, but they've got a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
They're light in midfield. Look, Lewis Miley's playing almost every single game now.
Joe Linton's just gone down.
Joe
for 6 weeks
Linton's
as
just
well, I
gone
think.
down.
But they've started to get players back. Like you've seen Botman come back, you've seen Shaw come back.
But it's still sort of trying to weave them
Yeah.
in. And I think the issue that they've got now is because of where they want to go and where they think they should be, there'll now be questions of, let's cut ties now. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Don't you think rightfully so, though?
I understand it. But realistically, in Newcastle's program of where they want to be, where should they be right now?
For me,
Well, fighting for top 4 again.
Fighting for top 4, but
Yeah.
a couple of results turns it around for them.
Yeah, but I
at the
I understand that was the same thing as United too, but this is where I don't subscribe to that way of thinking.
So look, they are 11 points off top 4.
'Cause
Like,
For
that's
me-
not good. 11 points off top 4 in
But for me,
December?
with the injury they've had, with the performances,
With
what I've
Arsenal
seen
having
from
a game
them
in
is,
hand as well.
I don't think that their performances,
be 14.
particularly in a lot of the games, have been terrible. It's just that there's something missing. And we had a conversation about it. You look at their midfield, and it's like all of you guys are the same guy. It's the same midfielder.
You can look at right wing
midfield is
as
the same
well.
guy.
I was going to
feel
say
like-
this, right? I think Newcastle, and I know it's really, hindsight is 50-50 here. Like what I'm about to say, or what is it? Hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
What I'm about to say here, none of us would have been saying 6 months ago, but we now have the benefit of hindsight. Their recruitment's kind of been smelly, bro. I can't lie. And I say that in terms of the profiling of their players, not the quality.
Right.
But you look at the players in which they're investing in, They bought, even with Tonali, if Tonali was even playing now, how many just number 8s box-to-box midfielders do they have? Tonali, now Lewis Miley, Bruno, Joelinton, Longstaff. Willock is maybe a little more advanced. But they're all really like box-to-box midfielders. You don't really have a sitter for them. You don't have somebody who can kind of like just sit at home and let the rest of them ball. They've tried converting Bruno G into that. I don't think that's really his best position. Now they want to sign Solanke. They signed Harvey Barnes on the left earlier in the summer. Meanwhile, on the right, it's absolute barren. If Almiron isn't giving you anything, you got nothing. But they want to buy Solanke when they already have Callum Wilson and Isak. What are we doing here, bro? You look at the left back position as well, too. They bought a right back. They bought Lewis Hall, who really hasn't played much, but now they're trying to play Livramento when Dan Burn isn't there. So, yes, they're buying good players, in my opinion, but is it really the signings that they need? You look at what City were doing originally with Mark Hughes and early Mancini days. They were signing great players, but did it really gel into the right team? I gave credit to Newcastle because they weren't signing big superstars, but I think they're signing players that they don't really need. Like, they have too many 8s, they have too many left wingers. Go buy players that are the positions that are screaming for quality.
The issue they have now as well is they're restricted by FFP as well. So they can't even go out and like say, all right, we need a right winger. It's like they almost have to offload first, and they don't. I don't feel like they have many players that they can really cash in on, aside from the ones that they've already brought in and are the talented ones that they want to develop with. So Newcastle are in a weird situation for the second half of the season. They just need, I think, like almost to just arrest this form, if that makes sense.
They
just
need
get a nice
draw
little patch of just. Now Europe's not going to be there for the second half of the season. Carabao, they're not in it as well. But just find some kind of rhythm. They need to draw a line in the sand. Consistency. And I think Eddie Howe as well, tactically, adjust a few things maybe sometimes in certain games. Like
I think like...
Because I remember earlier on in the season, the only reason I said it is against certain big teams, he would really sit back and low block.
Be rigid like that.
And I think people were kind of getting onto him about that, and he's kind of come out a little bit more. But I don't know.
Culture Camps linked up with Christian Eriksen, Rasmus Højlund, and Højbjerg after the game. Good for them. Danish gang, that's what he's saying. Danish gang, shout out Culture Camps.
Højbjerg in that picture as well, yeah?
Yeah, I said Højbjerg.
One thing, like if they could get Calvin Phillips on the loan or something, that's someone that could slot in and be that role for them. Easy. He's used to playing intense football under Bayo, so he could do something for them. But yeah, they need to address that situation. Slipping through, and also as well, like people like Trippier, like the little blip in form he had. When like your big players have that, it doesn't help. But speaking of other like England right backs, Kyle Walker, we need to touch on quickly because I mean, I know you said that. Well, there's a few things here.
Yeah.
The first thing is there was a lot of talk about his performance and where he was at fault. The second thing was certain cast members are rubbing his stature out of existence.
I was really hoping he was here this week because midweek I saw him running around on other platforms on 5 and now talking about, hey, you see Trent, best right back ever. And I said, whoa, are we doing Kyle Walker like that already? Like he hasn't even been rubbed out. He hasn't even retired. He hasn't even left Man City yet, and we're already putting Trent on that marker there. It's like, listen, I can see the trajectory maybe, but let's respect Kyle Walker. And I think this season you're seeing him get tested in certain games for sure. He's not the same athlete he was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I think when you're a player who is very reliant on your pace, at some point, bro, you're going to slow down. Do you know what I mean? For me, I always say it's about how you adjust and adapt afterwards. For me, I'm curious to see how he handles this second half of the season. But those 2 goals yesterday, I don't know. I felt like people were going over the top in criticising him and saying, 2 years ago, he would have made that run back. He would have closed it down. I'm like, bro, if you actually look at it, he did everything he was kind of supposed to do. It was just the Gordon shot, I thought, caught him by surprise. I'll be honest. I didn't expect Gordon to shoot from there.
For me,
and the Isak finish was brilliant as well.
Look, I'm not
like
a fullback,
2 good finishes.
I'm not a fullback, right? But the way he's kind of defending him in, he's walking inside. And I always say, the minute you try and block a shot with the outside of your front foot is when you're in trouble. You want to force Gordon out wide. And then if he does shoot, at least then you deflect it or you try and defend it with your left foot. So I think
if you go left foot, you almost get left too static if he goes down the line.
Wait, what do you mean if he goes left?
So if he tries to block it with his left foot and Gordon decides to go down the byline, now he's stuck static in that
But at
position.
least then he's not going towards goal. Isn't the goal, you're a defender? Isn't the goal of stopping your defender to send him wide?
For me, it's to send him to his weaker side.
And also,
but his weaker side is on the left.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to overcommit when you do that one, so that you can still be natural.
I also think he's sagged off. I think he's sagged off way too much.
I do agree. I think he could have closed it down a little bit better. But for me, I thought it was. What I feel like is people are waiting to kill Kyle Walker.
They're waiting for the downfall.
And, they're waiting for the downfall, and it's almost been like a thing of 2 or 3 years. It's like, when is this guy gonna slow down? And
it's
now
like
it's like
the England squad
to get
as well.
little memories, and I'm like, guys, can we respect the legend?
It's like the England squad thing as well. It's like we don't need him, and it's like
who got the Bernardo assist? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but his first assist in that.
Guess what? We acknowledge it. Respect Kyle Walker.
Let's go to.
We got a few super chats, but actually, I'm gonna read the super chats first because there's a huge Ornstein bomb right now, bro. Like
I just saw that as well.
I'm gonna read it out in a second. But Shy One says the Oil Derby is going to be up there in the future. All 5 goals were absolutely fantastic. I agree. Frankie Fasthand says, shout out to Elias with a post-Netflix pencil mustache superstar. If Liverpool sign no one, will you still see them competing at the end of the season? I think so. I think Liverpool will still be there.
I think Liverpool will be competing, but it's important for them to sign someone in order if they really want to win it.
Yeah.
I think that would
But I think they'll be there
with
with or without a signing. And then finally, Simo says, what about the Oscar Bob finish? Terrific.
Listen, man.
Yo. 20 years old, I think this season coming in as well, I don't think many people were expecting much from him, just to be like a sparing player. But, bro, he's showing even like, hey, Carl Palmer, trust me, this is how it's done, bro.
I think
this is how you secured a long-term deal, bro.
What's impressive about Oscar Bob as well is ultimately like similar to what we said about Foden, how he only made his first team debut when he was under 20 after he got into under 21 squad.
Yeah.
So that it's taken time, but you can see that the footballing education is there. He's ready to slot in, and Pep was doing this interview and he was saying that the reason why he fits in is because he understands the senior players. And even the small stuff like making a run for KDB to make the pass, he understands it. You can tell he's going to be a really good player.
The touch, the finish, the
little jinky.
Genius,
beautiful.
Man. Similar thing, to be fair, Palmer did, what was it, against Luton?
Yeah.
He went around the keeper, waiting for my man to come.
Fam, the City, man, it's different, man.
Son, there's something in the water over there, I'm telling you.
It's different. Right, let's go for this Ornstein bomb. That is big news.
Before I say this bomb, I'm going to state right now I'm very, very happy about this. And I'll tell you why in a second. David Ornstein in The Athletic report, Everton and Nottingham Forest are expecting to be informed on Monday that they've been found in breach of Premier League profitability and sustainability rules for 3-year cycle to June 2023. Both have prepared mitigation and will launch robust defenses, but they will find out their fate tomorrow. And they are in threat of both a fine or points deduction.
Yikes. So that could be twice for Everton.
Yeah.
And Nottingham Forest, I'll be real with you, is anybody surprised?
I'm not.
No, bro, they bought everyone. Anyway.
I'm not surprised about either of them. I've been saying for so long. And Everton, we already touched on them earlier in the season.
Yeah.
But it frustrates me when especially as someone who loves European football, the other leagues, it frustrates me seeing Forest spend so much money on 23 different players, and basically all they have to do is not get relegated and keep that Premier League kitty that they get every single year to keep them above water and go again the next season and commit the same mistakes, whereas teams like Inter and teams like Atletico Madrid and shit like that around Europe, they're screwed even when they win their own league, bro. There's too much money in the Premier League that other leagues aren't given the same kind of
leeway.
The same leeway, exactly. Like if any team around Europe behaved like Nottingham Forest and Everton did these last few seasons, spending so much money on 20 players every single summer, on overrated players that never kind of give you back that money, they'd be either getting hit with financial fair play, they'd be getting relegated, or they'd be going bankrupt, like you said. So I'm glad that finally these guys are getting repercussions.
Nah, fair. Listen, I understand the whole kind of framework of FFP, but if this is a chairman who, let's say, loves the club, and you know he's investing the club into the money to help it succeed, should there be a limit on that?
Say that again one more time.
He's basically saying that if someone's investing their money because they believe in the club, should there be a limit on that?
Because I get it, some part of FFP might be also to protect the clubs from guys who just want to get rich quick into buying a club or whatever. But I don't know. But
it's more about sustainability in terms of like you can only invest what you sort of like
make, and I get it. It's so the clubs don't go bankrupt as well. So,
and it's also like it's supposed to be sort of like.
I'm just thinking. I know that brother ain't hurting for money. So
that brother's making a lot of money.
Yeah, but he's also making a lot of money as well too. When all he has to do is just stay in the league, and automatically that's 40. How much money do you make just for staying in the league?
I think it's 40 million straight up.
He's investing that money still.
All you have to do is finish 17th in the league, and you make money.
That guy's investing that money still.
I think Everton could be in trouble.
They could be.
Another point deduction.
Sean Dyche. Like, listen, Sean Dyche. I love the rallying cry.
Can he do it again?
I don't know if
can he do it again?
Keep doing it, bro? It's like, because if they get like another 10 points, bro, they'll be there with the Lutons and the Burnleys, and now it's like all over
Hey,
again.
Luton Nation, we coming, bro.
No.
We coming. Hey, Luton Nation, we coming, baby.
Luton Nation,
Hey, let these big boys spend all their money. We do it the right, honest way. The British way. Let's go, Luton Nation. We got this. The British way. The British way.
Oh my
Rob Edwards,
God. Oh,
No, we actually need to get into Kenilworth Road before the end of the season. If anyone can get Leeds
Take me
tickets out there,
on.
us out. Hey, that would be too funny, man.
That is too funny.
Hey, smash the likes as well, man.
Honestly, smash it.
Loads of
Away-
people,
away-
man. Big up
Let's
everyone.
go up to 500 at
Away
least.
from sunny Kenilworth Road, let's go to sunny Africa, AFCON.
Oh,
Brewing up over there. Boy,
AFCON has begun.
AFCON has begun.
What was it?
Obviously,
Ivory Coast yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ivory Coast 2-0 win. Big up Seko Fofana. Nigeria got a draw
Nice little driller.
today, which was, is what it is.
Seko Fofana's one I'm a little bit annoyed about, man. I really feel like he could have come
Can I say
Premier
something?
League.
Seko Fofana would have gone to Arsenal and bust that position. He would have been
You know what?
one
I'm
of the
glad he
best
didn't come
players in
Premier
the
League.
league.
I'm glad he
I
didn't come
promise
Premier
you. And I remember
'Cause I'm
last
not
year,
joking with
I
you.
kept saying it. Seko Fofana at Lens, captain's armband, one of the best players in Europe.
Yeah,
But
he was.
money have to make.
Oh
When
my
Saudi
God.
comes calling, you
When I
go.
think about-
But if he went to Arsenal,
Shaka's role. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
you're telling me Seko
Say.
Fofana wouldn't bust
That
it
would
in
have been the upgrade on Shaka that they're looking for.
You're telling me he wouldn't bust it for them?
Yeah, safe.
Listen,
Safe.
man.
But now
Ghana are
2-0,
losing to Cape
and
Verde right
then-
now.
Ghana losing.
Yeah, the
Ghana!
I look at Ivory Coast in general, right? First of all, they have the best midfield on the continent.
Who?
In
Ghana.
Sangare, Seko Fofana, and Frank Kessié.
Yes.
That midfield three is crazy.
I've said that they're my favourites to win.
And then
Even
you
look
I
at the
think
back line.
playing at home as well too.
Diamande,
Ousmane Diomande for me is emerging as one of the best center backs
Yes.
in Europe.
Yes.
You look up front, Jeremy Boga. You have Jonathan Bamba on the left. Like this is a top team, bro.
Yeah.
This is a
Ahmed
top.
Traore
and-
should have been there as well, if I'm not mistaken.
He
Yeah,
should have been.
yeah,
but
true.
He's got an injury.
But I just look at home advantage as well
Yep.
too will be huge for them. They've always really struggled. For me, they've always had the best team on the continent. But has
Yeah.
it always like kind of
How
materialized
it's come
into that?
together.
But I think this year they have a
I
real
think
chance.
the
of
one thing
winning
that helps them is there's not a I don't want to say superstar low, but
Yeah,
like
it's
you know
not
when you have
Drogba
like
or like Yaya Toure,
it's kind of like
yeah.
it has to be a team. Obviously,
I think-
Wilfried
I
Zaha's
think
not
that
there as
helps
well.
them, though.
It helps. That's what I'm saying. It helps them because we have to be a team. We have to do this
Yeah.
together. And you're right. Like ultimately, if you look at like midfield profiles for AFCON, that's perfect. You've got enough pace and power in there. You've got enough like dog. But he's still got star quality in the
Yeah.
midfield. Like, there's not going to be mad turnovers of
They have
possession for them.
Allaire too. Is Allaire not fit for them?
Halle was part of this squad. I don't know if he's.
I don't know if he dropped out or not, but they still. Pepe's cameo was awful.
Are they, would you say they're the favourites? I would.
No, favourites are probably still
Yeah,
Morocco.
Morocco has to be favorites
Yeah.
on paper just
Yeah.
because of how great they were at the World Cup.
And
you look
Senegal as a team.
And I think Morocco, they're just the most tactically best team as well too.
Yeah.
Their coach
Yeah.
is really top quality. Yeah, for sure.
Wait.
Yeah, Vinny has 4 goals. I want
Sorry,
to bring it
little
up.
El Clasico
He had-
update. El
he had-
Clasico
he
is
had
being played
3
now.
goals at halftime. I want to wait until the end of the game.
Yeah.
Real Madrid are winning 4-1
Big
against
up if you're
Barcelona.
watching us as well, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
I know
big
El
you up,
Clasico's
man.
on as well.
Big you
you up as well. But just an update from that game as well. It is 4-1.
Okay, Vinny has
has
3
Real
goals. Yeah,
Madrid.
yeah, yeah.
65 minutes gone. Vinicius
hat-trick.
Junior
Yeah, Rodrigo scored the
has
4th.
3
Vinny
goals.
hat-trick.
Yeah.
See that fear thing you was talking about?
Bro.
That fear factor?
Bro.
That's another brother.
Jude Bellingham.
Vinny Jr.
Fair.
Fear factor.
I was thinking about it honestly.
Bro,
the other day.
Vinny Jr.'s fear factor.
Bro, we went to the
Bellingham
Classico.
will come.
Bro, we went to the
Our
Classico.
time will come.
Bro, we went to the Classico. Bro, as soon as he picked up the ball and shot, the whole stadium went silent.
You know what?
Fair.
Yeah, you know what the
Silence.
class guy.
Fair.
Silence.
Fair. Fair factor's
I was
different,
gonna
man.
say though, don't think you can run. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, Nigeria.
Don't go anywhere.
listen, man.
Ghana, yeah, Ghana.
Hey, listen, man.
Nigeria.
Listen, man. It happens.
Waiting me this.
Hey, yo. Don't kill me.
Explain yourself.
With
Equatorial
Nigeria,
Guinea.
With Nigeria been in bad form coming into this game. I can't remember the last time
You guys have been in bad form for 3 years now, bro. I can't remember the last time Nigeria were in good form.
Yeah, it's so mad. And typically, first games of tournaments were not great. I feel like the one thing I can take away is that the lineup, I wasn't mad at that there. I wasn't mad at it. I thought I was going to see Ahmed Musa and all these mad guys. I wasn't mad at the concept. Osimhen, this is not Italy. This is not Napoli. You are back home. You have to focus.
Yeah.
It's hot. When you're looking at the goal, you know when it's sweltering and the goal starts moving. I need you to,
the heat is coming off.
I need you to focus because we need you. We need you to put away those chances.
Can he? Do you think he can carry by himself? Because I look at that team and he is obviously the standout.
He shouldn't have
starter
to
you're
carry.
looking at. But at international tournaments, at knockout competitions in general, I always feel like your best players, you always rely on them. I don't
100%.
care if you're Man City, Real Madrid. When it comes to the quarterfinal, semi-final, last 15 minutes, those are the guys you look to.
Yeah.
And Nigeria, obviously one of the biggest countries, one of the best countries in AFCON.
Yeah.
I look at it as like, there's going to be moments when these guys, Simon, Moses, all of them be like, hey, Blondie, we need you.
Blondie.
I'm asking you as a Nigerian, do you think you can look at him and say, I trust this guy to get us out
I
of
feel
those
you
moments?
can, and ultimately he has to prove it. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people probably saw it circulating. The video of Drogba missing the penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, word to Banks, your Western titles don't mean anything on the continent, bro. You must rise.
Yeah.
You can be 10 in 10 finals, this and that. I won the thing for Napoli. No. Here, you're Victor. And Victor, you need us to make us victorious.
Yes.
Please score goals. Please score goals. Please don't miss chances.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
They're talking about Western world versus. Some of us got both of them, bro. I can't lie. Some of us got rings on both hands, bro. Get your money up, B.
Hey, Morris, talk your shit.
Listen,
Hey,
man, listen.
Algeria back tomorrow.
Listen, I will never forget that final. You know me, I'm Team Mahrez.
Yeah.
90th minute plus 2 minutes, free kick on the edge of the box, stood up, looked around, flicked his head, top bins free kick.
This is what we do, bro.
Fair factor.
Greatness.
Big game
Fair
player.
factor.
Facts.
Game done.
Facts.
That's it.
And in tournaments like this, I'm looking at players like Osimhen to be the
Yeah.
standouts. Like when I see top goal scorer, I don't want to be seeing Vincent Abubakar for the 10th year in a row, brother.
Oh, but that's what he does, bro.
I know.
International killer.
New guns, new gens. Can you please
Hey,
step
man,
up?
hey,
I
man.
need to see some of these players who are dominant in Europe take it to the AFCON stage, because you always see it. Sometimes the performances do dip off a little bit, and sometimes it could be the quality around them. Sometimes it could be the temperature adjusting. But I want to see that bit of quality where you're the difference maker. We said it the same thing for Salah in the last tournament.
Boy.
I remember
And he got lucky today, Salah.
He took a lot of them, man, to the final. And we were still putting pressure on him to be like, hey, big man. We know you got scrubs around you, but you better deliver. So I'm sorry. Osimhen,
it's the same.
I am giving you no excuses.
It's the same.
You could take your opening game 2-2 draw. But your eyes are on this tournament, brother. I'm telling you.
Let's not forget Senegal either, huh? Reigning champions. I mean, they were the finalists to go
Sadio.
before. Yeah. So they've kind of put their stamp on the continent. Like they are to be reckoned with. But yeah, I mean, look.
Egypt as well, by the way.
What about them?
Drew 2-2.
Yeah, Mozambique. We couldn't get it done today. Yo, today I'm Mozambican. Midweek, I am Ghanaian. The week after that, hey, Ghana. Hey, Fuad.
Man said, me free Ghana. Me free Ghana.
Hey, the Black Stars. Hey, hold on. The week after that, get some oil. The week after that, Cape Verde. The week after that, Algeria. I support two teams this tournament.
You're a sick
Algeria and anyone playing against Egypt, bro.
Talking like a
Yeah. Oh
I
my
respect
gosh.
it, man.
On that, speaking on that, make sure you lock in DR Sports. We're going to have some AFCON watch-alongs. Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Egypt's Ghana.
on.
Make sure you locked in. That's Thursday the 18th. So make sure you lock in there as well.
That's some big games, bro.
My favourite.
That should be the semi-final, Loki.
What's that?
Watch-alongs on the 18th. We've got Egypt versus Ghana, Nigeria versus Ivory Coast. Watch-alongs.
Nigeria, Ivory Coast, you must.
That's a big game.
Hey,
That's
don't-
a you must.
That's why I'm having
That's
the
a-
Victor
that's why you
conversation
must.
now, you know.
That is a you
Hey.
must. That is a because we can't go 2 for 2.
We will see.
Osimhen Diomande. I got my eyes on them.
You must.
We got a few super chats.
go on, let's go super chats.
Actually, we just have 3 more. Okay, so one of them, Osimhen doesn't need to carry, but he also shouldn't have one completed pass the whole game. One completed pass.
Hey.
You ain't mentioned that.
AFCON, you don't really do
One
passes.
complete. Well, hold on. No, hold on. First of all, don't talk to me like I'm a rookie, bro. About you don't really watch AFCON. Hold on. I won this shit 4 years ago, bro. Don't try that shit with me, bro. Tell him. When's the last time you guys won a ring?
I'm trying it.
About we don't do AFCON.
We don't do
I'm familiar with this tournament, bro.
We're just, you know, people.
We just dribble.
Nasty.
He did say missed some big chances as well. Chuckwazy's cameo was awful.
Yeah, man. People were saying you're crazy. Come on the pitch, and you came on. It was like, oh, maybe you should have stayed off the pitch.
Listen,
man. I'm telling you, it tests you, boy. Listen, you know, like normal. Like,
do you remember last AFCON? Do you remember Participums?
Who?
Thomas Partey.
Oh.
This is what I'm saying. And that was him peaking at that time.
My thing is,
I'm telling you, don't take it personal. It's just
my
business.
thing is, you see that if you were to go on holiday to go back home, it takes a while to adjust. You're like, wow, it's a bit. That's what it's like for these guys. Like, imagine like the guy that scored against the Paqueta lookalike for Equatorial Guinea.
Ivan Salvador.
Yeah. Man's playing in League 2 Poland. So he's probably gone from -2 degrees to 34.
Yeah, he's
Polar opposite.
It takes a while to acclimatize, man. So yeah, don't worry, man. We'll get it right, man. We'll fix that.
Ed Rins has 115 charges to Man City, but no one said a word. Okay, also get Man City then.
We've been saying
that for years.
What do you want us to do?
Yeah.
PGMO, if you watch this, no PGMO, PFA, whoever, please stop them.
Yeah.
Please find them. Like, we can't do anything, man.
Last question. Simo says, off topic, but who do you guys have winning AFCON?
I did a preview on a different pod. I said Ivory Coast. I just think that with the quality that they have, the cohesion in the team, the home advantage, like, you got to think about it. Like, Serge Aurier is their captain, and you could really drop him. Like, you've got people like flipping Michel Seri, who for an AFCON profile could do really well at the tournament. They've got the right balance as a squad to go all the way for me personally. So I'll go them.
That midfield is dangerous, bro. Honestly, Kessié. Yeah, that midfield in terms of like powerhouse, but also technical ability too. They got some ballers there.
In the midfield together.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I like Morocco a lot too, but also I've seen sometimes a team does really well at World Cup, and then they come to the AFCON, and it's like, and Morocco for me have never done well at AFCON. They've never been able to translate it to AFCON. I don't believe it, but I'm gonna have to back it. 1, 2, 3. Viva l'Algérie.
No,
we got this. We got.
I love it. I'd probably go Senegal to defend it. I'll be honest with you. I think just you look throughout their squad,
Koulibaly, the leader.
solid. Koulibaly, Niakate at the back, Mendy in goal. Like the midfield, they've got Mendy up front. They've got your boy Nico Jackson. See what he can do at an AFCON.
I can't lie, Nico Jackson at AFCON might look like a world beater.
He might look like Romario.
I'm back golden.
Hey, Nico Jackson at AFCON might be Romario. On my life, he might be Romario.
Bro, let's see what he can cook. So for me, I think I'm looking at them and I'm like, I'm expecting you to defend your title. Sadio Mane's last hurrah. Let's see.
All right, what? I don't like how DR are posting AFCON favorites polls and there's no Algeria. Get Egypt the hell out of there. Get Nigeria the hell out of there too, Hey, man.
I love that.
Me, man.
Nigeria,
what's the result in the poll as well?
Hey, listen, we've been streaming a lot today. Let's begin to round this up. Let's go.
Ghana just scored, I think.
Ghana just scored?
Yeah.
Me for the Ghana. Let's go.
Let me just quickly say the poll. Poll said AFCON favourites, 38% Morocco.
Yeah.
22% Ivory Coast, 21% Egypt, 17% Nigeria.
Really?
Damn.
Spread is a
Nigeria
bit
got no hope.
Let's go champs and duds. Can I start us off with champs?
Go for it.
Mine is a throwback name that restored the feeling today. Anyone remember Jake Livermore?
Okay.
England centre mid.
I thought you was going to say someone else.
No, man popped up today for Watford and scored 2 bangers in the championship out of nowhere. I said, wait, have we gone back in time? Why is this guy scoring outside the box screamers for?
Yeah.
So he's my champ, man. And ultimately as well, like his career is one of the interesting. I remember, I think he had that one England cap. He had a really tough period where, was he with you guys for a bit? He's with you guys for a bit.
Well, he came through our academy.
Yeah, he had a really tough period where I think his daughter passed away.
He had some drug issues.
He had some drug issues, but the fact that he's enjoying his football, showing that he still has ability, I respect him, man. So I'll give him a champ, man.
Speaking of throwback names, do you know who I would give my champ to? Isco Alcarcon.
The Isco party!
Yeah, bro. Got the winner against Granada this week, but since he signed for Betis,
most man of the match awards in the whole
most man of the match awards, the way he looks like his old self, and for a player who physically has been battered when he was at Madrid, went to Sevilla and terminated his contract midway through the season, you thought, yo, this is a sad way for a player who is the ultimate eye test player, if you like, honestly. Like for 5 or 6 years, people are looking at him, Thiago, like these are the protectors of the beautiful game almost. But to see him back, firing all cylinders, getting game winners, bro. And that team as well, they got a few of them. They got Joaquin still knocking around. They got Nabil Fekir there as well. Like, it's a team of real technicians over there. So fair play to him, man. I'll give him my champ.
Isco Disco, man.
My champ of the week. Rest in peace to Franz Beckenbauer, Derek Kaiser, the greatest defender in the history of football. And honestly, me and Cam talk about this a lot too in terms of like who are the greatest footballing men, right? Who not just on the pitch, but their influence at board level. He did at Bayern. As a manager, won the World Cup of Germany. As a player, won it all. A Ballon d'Or as a defender.
Yeah.
Twice, right?
Yeah, him, Cruyff. You look at Zidane. You look at Platini. Even these guys influence the game more than just on a 90 minutes of a football pitch. And his loss for me is a big one in the football world.
It's crazy, man. I was trying to explain to people the magnitude of Beckenbauer, and I was saying, how many players or people are in this club, the elite club, where you say he's turned into prime so and so. He's turned into prime Beckenbauer. That's transcended how long? That just shows you the pinnacle of what you are. Like, we could be in 2000 or whatever.
Yeah.
He's prime Beckenbauer.
No,
he transcended the game, man. Yeah. Like, honestly, that's a good one. I like that.
Legend.
Facts. Legend, bro. We use that word sometimes a little too lightly. Anyone can be a legend. Facts. That's a legend.
Yeah. Should we do duds?
Duds?
I've got my dud.
Go on. You want to give your dud first?
I'll give my dud. Abdul Fatawu. So, reportedly, Leicester forward reportedly turns down his Ghana call-up. Reportedly turned it down. He then got a red card against Coventry in the Midlands derby, which keeps him suspended till February the 10th. So, AFCON finishes on the 13th of February. So, basically, he's not going to play for the whole period. He could have been in...
Yikes. Yeah, you got to hold that one. That one, I think you tweeted it perfectly. It was something spiritual. See them ones? Someone back home said, "You wicked boy, you will learn today. You will learn." I'm telling you, bro.
So you are my dud.
My dud. Well, first one, I'll give a light one. Bayern Munich. For your duddery of trying to come in last minute on Dragusin, getting slapped in your face, and then hold on. Here's an Eric Dyer. You can take that. So enjoy that over there. Yeah, hold that. Yeah. And the second dud, it is a dud. Mikel Arteta. Let another man push me. Hey yo, Salt Bay in 2024.
And he rubbed his shoulders.
Nah, it was the
man got the shoulder rub and the. Push it, brother. Hold it. Nah, Mickey. That cannot. Even the Arsenal fans were like, "Hey, you know what? We can't defend this one."
Arsenal fans were asking for discipline.
Bro, listen. I understood if that was 2020, 2024,
2024,
when it was all new.
2024.
with your children around you. Hey, where's your manners? Come on, man. End the show.
you got done.
I was gonna say Troy Deeney is my dud of the week, just because I feel like, this guy is so out of touch of modern day management. Like, he's trying to come in and do this hard man act and like, this is how it was done back in my day. And this guy is shit. He hasn't been good for 9 weeks. I think what he said about Dabo, the guy, he was the one who missed the penalty for Coventry last year to send him to the Premier League. And he was telling him basically,
he could have been.
You were a kick away from making it to the Premier League. Now you'd be lucky to even play in the National League.
Yeah.
This is all nice talk, and this is how people on Twitter talk, and this is how we all wish our managers speak. But modern day management requires you to be able to relate to these players on a certain level, and this is how you lose your dressing room, ultimately lose your job. And also, maybe it's not my place to speak, but in terms of black managers in this league, I feel like we definitely don't have enough of them. But this current thing, like, we want to see guys come in and get jobs and do really, really well. So Troy Deeney, he deserved this role, and I think more people deserve it past him. But this isn't the way to behave, to be honest with you. It's disappointing for me to see it.
You see with the Troy Deeney thing, the reason why it's like, I shouldn't even laugh at it, but it's one of those things where, when someone wears the heart in their sleeve too much, it's like, man. It's just who you are. Yeah. It's like, I understand because he digged out the board, he digged out another player, and he was like, he's like, how can I trust you? How can I trust to start him if you can't be on time? When I say he was digging out everyone, he said that he would have preferred to watch a friggin' auto car show He was just
Yeah, that's
going.
weird,
He was
that's
just
not
going
like- that's
in,
weird.
and it's almost like he was doing it because he wanted to show that he's really passionate.
There's a standard.
Yeah, and it's like, bro,
It's like, bro, allow it. We know who you
Yeah,
are.
like,
You're Troy
yeah.
Deeney, bro. Stop trying to
Yeah.
act like you're the model standard bearer of professionalism and all of a sudden now. Nah, bro. Be relatable, be human, and be a good manager, bro.
Yeah,
like,
man. Honestly, he's gonna lose
in modern
his
day,
job.
that hard nose, you know, I've personally, that approach works on some players.
Yeah.
But if you try and do that, like, flat throughout, and I'm gonna do it top to bottom at the club.
things. If you say one thing, it's fine. But when it's like a 2-minute, 3-minute tirade, and you're ripping into one player, it's like, my guy. Like, I don't even think the fans are gonna get on board with this. But yeah, no, those are some good champs and duds.
Yeah.
Listen,
Big up everyone, man.
we will be back.
Over 2K in here. The whole
Over 2K,
most
big
of the
up.
show,
Make sure
bro.
you smash the like button on the way back. We'll be back next week. Listen, so a few things to say. As I mentioned before, we've got the watch-alongs. In the next few weeks, we've got some good stuff coming for you. I promise you.
For sure.
I promise you. I don't say these words lightly. We have some really good stuff
Right.
coming. So make sure you follow the personal socials. Make sure you subscribe to DR Sports. Make sure you follow on Twitter. Stay notified. We will be back very, very soon. I promise you.
Nearly 10K on IG as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah. You know what?
I
If
know
you're in here,
usually we get about, I don't know, over 50,000 usually watching here. So if some of you want to go over to the IG, we drop some clips there as well. We drop some exclusive bits sometimes as well.
Yep.
So go and show some love there, and on the Twitter as well, and the TikTok we've recently started as well.
Yeah.
We might be looking for someone to join the team, maybe run that. You know what I mean? If you want to
Yeah.
throw your name in the hat, you know what I mean?
So you know what to do. You know what to do. You got the
We got 2 more super chats.
Let's go to
before we
super
dip.
chats as well.
Go on.
First one, Tobias says, I'm late, but does KDB have a shout as assist leader? Could he eventually do it? I think Giggs is a little too far ahead, man.
Oh,
That-
all time.
I think that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Giggs has got a
Too far off.
nice
Also,
chunk
as
of
well,
change ahead.
inevitably, Pep is going to do the whole Kevin, thank you, but
It's time to go. Nah,
Eventually.
I think Kevin outlasts Pep.
Maybe.
I think Kevin outlasts
really?
Pep.
I think KDB is more of a
I think-
spiritual, not spiritual, but like he's like
KDB
more than
is
just a
Man
player.
City.
As well. He is Man
He's been there
City,
9
yeah.
years, bro.
He'll be in and
I know,
around
but
that
so is
squad.
everyone
yeah.
else.
Bro, he is Man City. I'm sorry.
I think KDB only leaves if he wants to leave.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But like
Yeah,
Pep
but-
will be like, come on, like,
Why
don't you leave now?
It's moments
Nah.
like yesterday, I'll be real with you. You realize, KDB's different to how Pep treats other players. I'm 100% sure KDB gets special treatment.
I hear it.
Probably.
Alright.
And then finally, Frankie says Senegal to win it. He said Sadio Mane to win it. I won't say what he called him, but yeah. He says Sadio Mane's going to win it again.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
That's
you know
it.
what it is. Also, as well, big up Asia Cup as well. Japan doing their thing. Palestine got their second goal ever.
Hey,
At
big
the
up
Person
against
Cup, so
Qatar.
big up against-
Tobias, sorry, he
Iran,
says
wasn't it?
KDB,
Yeah.
can he win assist leader this year? He just corrected himself. Do you think KDB can be the assist leader this season? I thought
Well, I mean, KDB plus Haaland is, you know,
it's goals.
so
Equals goals.
I mean, who's the assist leader? Ollie Watkins with 9, I think.
yeah, Salah's up
Salah, no,
there.
Salah.
Neto was up there, I think.
I
For a
mean,
while,
it's
yeah.
feasible.
Yeah.
We've seen him in half a season. Or,
I wouldn't bet against him.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 15 or whatever it was.
Pop has 8, and he already has 1.
Yeah,
has-
it's feasible. It's
I
feasible.
think 8 probably Watkins. Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past
and
him.
who has one?
De Bruyne.
Oh,
So
if he does that, that's just taking the piss in it. Once I
you
gave
know
you a
what
head
that is?
start.
It's the footsteps, bro.
Mm.
They started right coming close. Hey, he's coming for you. The boogeyman coming.
I tell you, man, it's the boogeyman, man.
No, for real.
Like words where he said, "The butcher coming."
Hey, I didn't say it.
Hey, ain't that all that
Listen,
sauce?
like, share, subscribe. We'll be back next week. Peace.
Bless.